the beginning of trial, my co-counselor, Austin Makins, came to you and told you a little bit about what the B proposal is. Avery Bancroft, a briefcase, and a bribe. On April 16, 2015, Chase Covington, the Gambling Commission's chair, accepted a bribe of $200,000 from Miss Avery Bancroft, a local casino owner. On this day, the two individuals met in the VIP room of Miss Bancroft's casino, the Black Bear. Miss Bancroft entered the VIP room of the casino first, carrying with her a black briefcase stuffed with $200,000. A little while later, Mr. Chase Covington entered, carrying with him a similar looking briefcase. However, his was older and empty. The two sat at the middle table, the center table, headed by Miss Allie Thomas. The two played blackjack for a while, however, they both appeared distracted. At one point in the game, Black Bear regular Casey Kelly approached the table. It is at that point Mr. Chase Covington got up and left the VIP room, taking with him the briefcase Miss Bancroft brought in with her, the briefcase stuffed with $200,000 cash. The following day, the Midlands Gambling Commission voted on who would receive the new casino license. Chase Covington voted in favor of Miss Avery Bancroft. Chase Covington voted in favor of Miss Avery Bancroft because the day prior he had received the B proposal, a briefcase stuffed with $200,000 cash. This act of bribery is a first-degree felony under the Midlands state law. Because today is a criminal case, the prosecution had to prove to you, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Chase Covington accepted a bribe, and because of that bribe, took an official act. We have the burden today, members of the jury, and we accept that burden willingly. To prove that Chase Covington had accepted a bribe, we have shown you the jury instructions. There are 3 prongs that we had to meet today. The first was that the defendant is a public official. No one, not even the defendant himself, is denying that fact. The second is that the defendant received something of value in return for being influenced in the performance of an official act. And lastly, that the defendant acted with the intent to be influenced in the performance of an official act. To show you these last 2 prongs, we brought forth 3 witnesses: Miss Corey Hyde, Miss Tracy Manetos, and Dr. Pat Sikorsky. Through Miss Corey Hyde, you were able to see intent, the 3rd prong. Chase Covington asked Miss Bancroft, "What do you have for me?" He also said to her, "I'm going to need $250,000 reasons to vote for your proposal." $250,000 reasons, members of the jury, or $250,000? Lastly, he asked for a new briefcase which helped him receive something of value. As Corey Hyde also testified, she saw her boss stuff money into a briefcase. A briefcase which Avery Bancroft took into the VIP room to exchange with an empty briefcase Chase Covington had. Through Miss Tracy Manetos, you were able to hear that the two met all the way back in Thanksgiving to discuss the process of a casino proposal. You also were able to see a bank statement with a deposit of $200,000. This deposit was dated for the same date the Gambling Commission's board made their vote in favor of Avery Bancroft's casino proposal. Lastly, you heard from Dr. Pat Sikorsky. Dr. Sikorsky is the director of the Criminalistics Laboratory for the Midlands Department of Criminal Investigation. Dr. Sikorsky told you today that she tested the briefcase found upon Mr. Covington's arrest. She used fingerprint analysis along with touch DNA analysis and hair analysis to test the briefcase to see who had been in contact with this briefcase. Through fingerprint analysis, Dr. Sikorsky found 6 prints, 1 on each end side of the briefcase, 1 on the right side latch, and 3 on the handle. Through the known prints of Chase Covington and Avery Bancroft taken upon their arrest, and the prints she found Dr. Sikorsky found that the prints on each end side, the print on the right side latch, and one of the handle fingerprints belonged to Miss Avery Bancroft, while only 2 of the fingerprints belonged to Mr. Chase Covington. Mr. Covington, who allegedly owned the briefcase, only had 2 of 6 prints on the briefcase. Today, the defense counsel brought forth 3 witnesses as well. Their first witness, Mr. Allie Thomas. Mr. Allie Thomas told you that there was a big commotion on the 6th when Chase Covington won big. But Chase Covington testified today that he also won big other times in which there was no such commotion to give him his $200,000. Mr. Thomas also testified today that it was odd to see 2 men in the see 2 individuals in the VIP room carrying briefcases. Mr. Hoy came forth and testified that on April 15th, Miss Bancroft had met with him to discuss blind spots. This same blind spot that they had discussed on April 15th, Miss Bancroft led Chase Covington to on the 16th. Therefore, they could make their deal in private. Lastly, you heard from Mr. Covington himself. Mr. Covington is the only person today who you heard from that could talk about a relationship. What is wrong with the gambling commissioner and a local casino owner being in a relationship? Nothing. Nothing is wrong with 2 people being in love. Why could his stepsister not have known about that? Why is the only 2 encounter the stepsister had seen with each other been one time in Thanksgiving? One time in a 5-month span, they had seen each other. She had only been around them one time. If they were in a real relationship, you would think Ms. Manetos would know about this situation. Chase Covington told you that he collected that money over time, that the $200,000 he had in his study was from over time. But who keeps cash in a study? Who keeps cash out at all? You'd want to put it in the bank. You'd want to keep it safe. On April 6th, when Chase Covington won big, that following day, there was a deposit for $155,000 in his bank account because Chase Covington wanted to keep that money safe. Today you heard that Chase Covington accepted the B proposal from Miss Avery Bancroft. Chase Covington accepted a bribe today, and we have met these 3 prongs to prove it. The defendant received $200,000 in a briefcase, and the defendant acted with intent. Members of the jury, find him guilty. Thank you.